Have you ever looked at a spreadsheet full of data and felt completely overwhelmed? I certainly have. We live in a data-driven world, and sometimes that data just needs a little bit of help to stop it from driving us crazy. Hi, I'm Sophie, a data visualization specialist at Flourish, and today I'm going to show you how to turn those scary spreadsheets into clear, engaging visuals that anyone can understand. In this video, you're going to learn the powerful basics of data visualization. We'll transform raw numbers into beautiful charts and graphs that do more than just look pretty. They make complex information accessible and actionable. Because it's not just about presenting data, it's about presenting data so people can and will use it. So let's get started. As with most things, in data visualization, it's essential to start with a solid foundation. And that begins with understanding the different types of data you might encounter. Broadly speaking, data can be classified into a few key types, each with its own characteristics and best practices for visualization. But we'll get into that in a bit later. First, we have quantitative data. This type of data is numerical and can be measured. Next, there's qualitative data, which is all about descriptions and perceptions rather than numbers. It captures the details that tell you about qualities rather than quantities, like feelings, opinions, and experiences. This includes data like names, labels, or descriptions, and can provide context and deeper insights that numbers alone can't offer. Another interesting type is ordinal data, which is a mix of quantitative and qualitative. This is data with a meaningful order but no consistent scale between categories. Say you go to the coffee shop and the barista asks you how you liked your coffee after trying a new blend. You might say it was good, average, or poor. These categories have a clear order. You know good is better than average and average is better than poor. However, the exact difference between these categories isn't defined. How much better is good from average? We don't know in numbers, but we do know it's better. This type of data is common in surveys or polls where people are asked to express preferences or make judgments that place options in a certain order without needing to quantify the difference between those options. Finally, we have temporal data or time series data. As you might be able to guess, this kind of data tracks changes over time. Essentially, it helps you to spot trends over time, understand how things change at different times, and even predict future patterns based on past data. Now we've covered the different types of data, let's take a look at how they can be structured. There are two ways your data can be structured, long and wide, and each style is useful for different kinds of data analysis. First, let's take a look at long format data. This is where each row in your data table is a single piece of information, like a measurement or a score. If you're using time series data, like daily sales of different beverages in a cafe, or if you have many similar measurements for different subjects, the long format helps to keep everything organized by stacking related data vertically. With wide format data, each row still represents something specific, like a person or a location, but each type of information about that subject has its own column. This makes it easy to see everything you know about one subject all at once, which is great for comparing a bunch of different things at a single point in time. But how do you figure out what format your data is in? It's easy. Just look at how it's organized. If you see the same subjects or items repeating down the rows, with data about them stacked in the next columns, it's in the long format. If each subject or item takes up only one row, with different kinds of information spread across many columns, then it's in the wide format. So why is this important for us to understand before we choose our chart type? Let's hop into Flourish and I can show you. Flourish offers many different chart types, and each of these chart types requires your data to be structured in a specific format to work correctly. We can see here in this example dataset, if you want to create a line chart to showcase your time series data, it needs to be in the long format, where each point in time is a separate row. But here, for a scatter plot, we can see that each column represents a different category or variable, and each row represents a different group or time period, making it straightforward to compare across categories. When your data is in the correct format for the type of visualization you want to create, setting up your chart in Flourish becomes even easier. If the data format matches the expected structure, Flourish can automatically detect and correctly assign axes, legends, and values. All right, what's next? We've just touched on how to read and structure your data. So now let's figure out the best way to visualize it. Effective chart design is crucial in data visualization because it directly influences how quickly and clearly the audience can understand the data. Firstly, let's talk about not cluttering unnecessarily. To keep your charts clean, only include elements that support your story. Ask yourself, does this add value to the message I'm trying to convey? If it doesn't, it might be best to leave it out. This will help ensure that the viewer's attention is drawn only to what's most important. Lastly, avoid chart junk. Chart junk refers to all the decorative and non-essential graphics that do not enhance understanding. This chart has tried to use a background image to infer that it is about coffee. However, it's actually distracting from the point of the data, so I think we should remove it. But if you still want a bit of fun, why not add an emoji to the title instead? Looking good. A minimalist approach often works best, ensuring every element on the graph serves a clear purpose. The secret to a compelling chart? It's all about the story it tells. No need for fairy tales here. Your chart needs a clear purpose, something you want your audience to grasp after they look at it. Finding the narrative in your data can be straightforward with a few guided steps. First step, identify your why. Ask yourself, why are you creating this chart? What do you aim to achieve with it? Let's consider our data set from our cafe, the Daily Grind Coffee House. The data reveals that since introducing a new food menu, profits have improved. The goal? Show corporate the new launch's effectiveness to secure more budget. That's your why, demonstrating value to make a case for additional resources. Second step, consider your audience. What does your audience know? What do you need them to learn from your chart? Our corporate stakeholders are invested in the business but aren't involved in cafe operations, so we'll need a chart that adds context without complexity. A line chart seems perfect here, especially since it clearly shows changes over time and our data is already well suited for it. Great choice. Third step, highlighting a key insight. You've noticed the profits spiked after beginning to sell food. Let's make sure that stands out. We'll highlight this change directly on the chart. In Flourish, go to the annotation section in the settings panel. For us, an x-axis highlight works best. Simply annotate it by writing your label like this: launched food menu, : February. Perfect. And if you feel like tweaking it further, you can adjust the line width and style. There, that looks fantastic. This chart may be simple, but it effectively underlines our key insight and tells our story. And that's exactly what we need to help guide decision-making. We've covered quite a lot today, but you're ready to start creating amazing data visualizations. Oh, hey there, still with me? You must be loving Flourish as much as we do. For more awesome tips and tricks, check out our playlist, or explore more with our webinars for some advanced learning. Catch up on those right here. Thanks a ton for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest videos. Catch you in the next one.